Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to continue our discussion with the first pillar of engaging in immersive story, and we will talk about races. If we have time, we'll get to the religion, but mainly I want to talk about all of the races that are in Ashes of Creation. The way the races are split is there are 4 parent races which split into 2 sub-races of each. So for the humans, we have the Aelin humans, you have the Kalar and the Veilun. For the dwarves, you have the Dunzakel dwarves, Dunir and Nakua. And for the Kaivek orcs, you have the Ren'Kai and the Vek. And for the Py'Rai elves, you have the Empyrean and Py'Rai. There is also the Tolnar race, which is the underground race. I will share a quote here from Stephen Sharif talking about a little bit about the races. Verra is a world with rich and diverse cultures. Much of its important history has been dominated by the major races: humans of the coast of the plains, orcs within the hills and the marshes, elves in the forest and the riverlands, and the esteemed dwarves of the mountains. The major races have held dominance through the countless wars and skirmishes between the lesser races of Verra. Decades may pass between these flare-ups of violence. There are many minor races on Verra. Some of the minor races exist in makeshift villages, or tribes if you will. Some of the major villages among the minor races are comprised primarily of the giants, less reputable sects of humans, gnomes, and halflings. And halflings are not in a traditional sense, but actually half-bloods of different races. Now let's go ahead and talk about these alien humans. The Aelin. I keep wanting to say alien, but I'm just going to say humans going forward because I can't say it right. They're split into 2 races, the Kalar and the Veilun. And the Riverlands biome was the ancestral home of the humans and is the present-day home of the Kalar. A little bit of lore following the Great War of the Undying, which if we do some lore videos I might go ahead and dive into. The Aelin people would form the Empire after they had the Great War with King Atrax. Also, the Tauren half-elves were the predecessor of both of the Aelin and Py'Rai races. So the principles of the Kalar humans would be build, order, and civilization. Their empire in the world spanned the largest of any of the races, and they planned to do the same in Verra. They're extremely loyal to their roots, and the Kalar will rise to the challenge. The Veilun, their principles lie in trade, law, and hardship. The Veilun were forged in the heat of the desert, and through the ages they became a blade that bends but does not break. Through the development of complex web of relationships and savvy negotiation, the Veilun grew into one of the wealthiest empires in Sanctus, despite having few natural resources. Their environment has taught them what it means to kill or be killed, whether through the beasts of the desert or the snakes in the market square. Now let's talk about the Dunzakel dwarves. They are split into 2 races, the Dunir and Nakua. The principles of the Dunir is that they are stoic, tradition, and forge. Most of the peoples from the old world would see the mountain and think nothing of it. The Dunir saw a defensible home where riches abound. The Dunir take immense pride in what they craft and what they build. Fortifications that seem impregnable, warhammers that would never break, or beautiful gems for their royalty and all their repertoire. Don't be deceived by their stout stature. They are pound for pound the strongest warriors the world has ever known. The Nakua principles are family, freedom, and courage. Where the Dunir saw mountains as a home, the Nakua saw it as a prison. How could they complete a great hunt inside of a cave? The craft of their brothers doesn't elude them, though. They too are highly skilled artisans. Instead of jewelry for nobles, the Nakua see crafting as a rite of passage and advancement of the family. Will you progress your people from the mountains of your ancestors? Now let's discuss the Kaivek orcs. The Ren'Kai. Their principles are honor, power, and tranquility. Through staying centered in their power only grows. Ren'Kai believe in ultimate focus and controlling their immense power. When a Ren'Kai becomes enraged, though, there aren't many men or beasts who can live to tell the tale. The developers have alluded that the Ren'Kai, or their parent race, the Kaivek, possibly having dragonborn lineage. The Vek are the other playable orc race, and they are astrologers. Their principles are celestial, purpose, and fate. When one stargazes, they find beauty lies beyond our world. When the Vek stargaze, they find fate that lies beyond our time. Star maps, numerology, and the prophecy are integral parts of each Vek's life. Great leaders read the heavens for how wars will go, which empires will rise and fall. The Vek often ask themselves, are we too late? Now we will discuss the Py'Rai elves. The Py'Rai kingdom's borders encompass the great forest of Ren'Kai. The Empyrean elves. Their principles are imperial, pride, and culture. Though not as numerous as the Kalar, the Empyreans are a force to be reckoned with. Elite military forces and highly structured government. The people of Imperia surely have a plan to carve their place in the world. The Py'Rai. Their principles include nature, balance, and fury. All things come to balance in time, and nature always has her way. Don't let the love of nature fool you though. The Py'Rai rarely take prisoners. Whether by bow or spear, the Py'Rai's legacy will take root. The Tulnar. They are the ancestors that fled to the Underrealm to escape the corruption before the fall of Verra. The Tulnar is a combination of the 4 major races and many minor races that were left behind after the apocalypse. Tulnar stands for the Forgotten. Tulnar are not restricted to the Underrealm. They eat many things. The Tulnar religion is a combination of religious beliefs of the major races as well as pagan beliefs of the minor races that evolved over time as they coexisted together in the Underrealm. The Tulnar are also descendants of the divine races, and they have souls, and these souls act as conduits for their essence. Now let's discuss the minor races on Verra. These include giants, less reputable sects of humans, gnomes, and half-bloods. Some NPC races include cyclopses, minotaurs, ancients, druids, treants, goblins, sladeborn, and trolls. The races in Ashes of Creation are primarily humanoid in appearance. This was mainly driven from a lore perspective as well as a savings in animation and character design. A quote from Stephen Sharif. I didn't feel that it was necessary to recreate the wheel on races in a fantasy perspective. I'm not sure how much that would add to the flavor of the game. Obviously, I think that we're capable of unique things within cultures, and I think that we are doing that specifically like the Islander dwarf race. I mean, that really hasn't been seen before. Or a stargazing noble Vek looking race. These things are still unique, and they bring innovation in the idea of what these races can be. But at the same time, there's still a familiarity there that players can feel comfortable with in the traditional fantasy setting. The appearance of some of the races here. Right here we have the alien appearance for the Valoon. As you can see, they have a very Jin type influence of their lineage, which manifests in sort of like an essence-like rupture in their skin after they stepped through the divine gateways. Very sort of cool and kind of creepy look. I like it. Now let's take a peek at the Dunir dwarf appearance. As you can see, it's got a very Nordic cultural influence and pretty interesting. The females have beards, which is kind of out there. Now let's take a look at the Py'Rai. They have a very kind of Navajo Native American influence and very interesting. It'll be kind of a nature-esque type of race. I kind of like the look of them. Definitely will probably make a character. Now let's take a look at the Ren'Kai. They have a very interesting look as well. The developers have alluded to them being a parent race or possibly having dragonborn lineage, which is pretty cool. They are the tallest race, and they're considerably taller than humans. They're going to have a red or green skin tone option available when you're creating one. Very dragon/orc. It's kind of cool. Now let's take a peek at the Tulnar. This race does not have subtypes. Instead, the player will be able to significantly customize the appearance. As you can see there, it's almost, I would say, ape-like, and now that's kind of lion/wolf-like. A goat? I don't know. And then reptilian? Very animal-inspired. The feline/bestial components, they can be scaled up when creating the Tulnar. Alright, ladies and gents, thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek into all the different races in the game, and y'all have a good one. Catch you in the next one. Peace.